옥정고 3학년 1학기 기말 3. 테스트 1. 13번.
Things become complicated when we consider a task that involves multiple processes differing in automaticity. In a psychological task, people are required to name aloud the color of words while ignoring the words themselves. Sometimes, the words are compatible with the color with which they are printed, e.g., red, printed with red ink. In other conditions, the words are incompatible with their color, e.g., red, printed in blue. People usually complete this task more slowly in incompatible than compatible conditions. On incompatible trials, people do not intend to respond to the meaning of the word. The task is to name the ink color, not the word, but they typically become aware that it is easier said than done. They realize their attention is being drawn to the content of the words, despite its irrelevance to the task at hand and their intention to ignore it. To overcome this automatic draw on attention, people must assert control to report a judgment that has been made challenging by a competing automatic process. So, in this case, people are aware of an automatic process, but they cannot stop it and have difficulty correcting its influence.
30강. 3번.
Science shows that, when compared to adults, children naturally prefer higher levels of sweet and salty tastes and reject bitter tastes. This might help explain why children are drawn to more unhealthy food choices within our current food environment, an environment composed of high salt, high refined sugar foods. In support of this idea, studies have found that sensory experiences, beginning early in life, can shape preferences in both a positive and a negative way. For example, expecting mothers who consume diets rich in healthy foods can help develop their child's taste preferences in a positive way because flavors from foods that the mother eats are transmitted to amniotic fluid and to mother's milk, creating an environment in which breastfed infants are more accepting of these flavors. In contrast, infants fed formula learn to prefer its unique flavor profile and may have less difficulty initially accepting flavors not found in formula, such as those of fruit and vegetables. Having healthy food experiences early in life may go a long way toward promoting healthy eating throughout a person's lifespan.
13강 3번.
Becoming aware of our internal sensations can help us handle our own emotions. Perhaps more surprisingly, the body's interoceptive faculty can also bring us into closer contact with other people's emotions. That's because the brain, on its own, has no direct access to the contents of other people's minds, no way to feel what others are feeling. Interpreting others' spoken words and facial expressions may yield only a coolly abstract sense of the emotions that stir within. The body acts as a critical conduit, supplying the brain with the visceral information it lacks. It does so in this way. When interacting with other people, we subtly and unconsciously mimic their facial expressions, gestures, posture, and vocal pitch. Then, via the interoception of our own body's signals, we perceive what the other person is feeling because we feel it in ourselves. We bring other people's feelings on board, and the body is the bridge. In an act similar to taking a bite off our partner's plate, or borrowing an earbud to hear the song our friend is listening to, we are sampling their emotions.
13강. 4번.
The strongest criticisms of the overextension of technology involve claims of dehumanization, and these arguments are not new. Canadian philosopher of the electronic age Marshall McLuhan was primarily a techno-utopian, but he was also a critical thinker who cautioned, decades ago, against too much human extension into technology. McLuhan famously claimed that every media extension of man is an amputation. For example, once we have a car, we don't walk to the shops anymore. Once we have a computer hard drive, we don't have to remember things. And now that we have personal GPS, global positioning system, on our cell phones, no one can find their way about without it. Based on McLuhan's philosophy, we are becoming post-literate because we rely on screens full of pictures, rather than print media, such as books. It is thus possible that extensions of human faculties, through techno and bio-enhancement, will bring about arrested development in the natural evolution of higher human faculties.
22강. 2번.
By enhancing energy efficiency and putting waste products to use, biopower helps move utilities and industries in a sustainable direction. The U.S. forest products industry now obtains half its energy by combusting woody waste and liquid waste from pulp mill processing. Biopower helps alleviate climate change as well by reducing carbon dioxide emissions, and capturing landfill gas reduces emissions of methane, a potent greenhouse gas. Biopower also benefits human health as it cuts down on pollution. By replacing coal and co-firing and direct combustion, biopower reduces emissions of sulfur dioxide because plant matter, unlike coal, contains no appreciable sulfur content. In addition, biomass resources tend to be geographically spread out, so using them can help support rural economies and reduce many nations' dependence on imported fuels.
29강. 2번.
The internet has transformed the fashion marketplace, making it increasingly difficult to predict the demand for the selling season. Consumers can browse for product information and prices and gain comparative information almost instantaneously, making them more informed than ever before, transferring the balance of power from the retailer to the customer. This is exacerbated by open and real-time access to fashion shows, facilitated through live streaming, coupled with social media access to celebrity looks and lifestyles and the sharing of all aspects of life on social media. Consumers use fashion choices to express their individual style and personality, especially those promoting brand me on social media. The traditional two-season offer is no longer seen as enough, with consumers demanding new products throughout the whole year. This creates a problem for fashion retailers as many consumers are looking for more exclusive pieces to differentiate themselves, forcing up the desire for trend-led ever more rapidly changing styles, while still demanding affordable prices.